眼前这个女人正面临着人生的至暗时刻，她即将被炒了，而老板给出的理由竟然是她怀孕了。女人不服气，反问老板解雇的原因，是因为她工作效率变慢了吗？答案是并没有，她在工作上的表现无可挑剔。那女人就不解了，她既没有传染病，也没有霍乱，怀孕这事儿又不会传染，那她凭什么不能继续工作呢？
And you are not only pregnant, you're unwed, and that is disgraceful.
Pregnancy is a natural condition. It is how all human beings begin.
Explaining pregnancy to me? Who do you think you are?
A woman. A fertilized zygote is 50% ovum and 50% sperm. Would the man be fired in this situation? If an unwed woman gets pregnant, is the man who gets her pregnant responsible and therefore also fired? Would you fire Calvin?
Of course not.
Then you have no grounds to fire me.
Of course I do. You're the woman. You're the one who got knocked up. We have rules, Mrs. Ott.
Not for this. I have read the employee handbook front to back,
It's an unwritten rule.
and thus not legally binding.
这赤裸裸的歧视和硬刚，让人看了又气又爽，但爽只是一时的，女人最终还是被解雇了。而以上这段情节出自一部新出的高分美剧《化学课》，故事发生在上世纪年代的美国，女主叫伊丽莎白，她是一个怀揣着化学家梦想的女人。很多女性在求学的道路上都应该听说过女生学不好理科这句警告，更何况那还是在50年代。逐梦科研圈对女性来说简直是难于登天，毕竟当时的社会普遍认为女性属于家庭而非职场。可伊丽莎白却凭借着自身努力拿到了加州大学的化学硕士学位，并成为了一名实验室的技师。和许多大女主一样，她每天拼了命的工作，别人下班她加班，连节假日也不放过。她不停地做实验，探索自己的研究领域，甚至抛开一切干扰工作的因素，比如她从不化妆，也从来不喷香水。
Oh, I don't. In the lab, your sense of smell alerts you to potential dangers, and I'm already at a deficit due to a hydrochloric acid accident when I was an undergrad. I singed most of the cilia in my nostrils, but thankfully they restored themselves over time. So I'm not taking any more chances.
除此之外，伊丽莎白还宣言自己不打算结婚，更不会因为生孩子而暂停事业。论努力，她已经做到了无可挑剔。但很可惜的是，在实验室工作多年的她却仍然一事无成。一是因为伊丽莎白没有博士学位，当初她在上学的时候遭到了教授的性侵，反抗过程中用铅笔捅伤了对方。可她万万没想到，院方竟要求伊丽莎白道歉。毕竟教授的地位较高，如果她不向对方道歉，并承认这是一场误会的话，就取消她博士候选人的资格。
But I am currently running experiments. I'm months away from publishing.
You stabbed a tenured professor with a pencil. Express regret for your actions, and we will pretend like none of this unfortunate business ever happened.
Now that I think about it, I do have one regret.
Good.
I regret not having more pencils.
二是因为伊丽莎白的努力确实效率极低，毕竟她被分配的工作技术含量太低，明明有能力指导实验，却全然没机会发表高见。每天能做的事情就是被要求履行女性职责。
Sweetheart, I could use another cup of Joe when you're done with that.
It'll be a few minutes. You know, you could go to the cafeteria.
But it's not your specialty.
正因为如此，伊丽莎白不得不牺牲休息时间，下班后悄悄溜回实验室做实验。可即便如此，她也无权使用部分试剂，没有男化学家在场监督，连在实验室停留都属于违规。好不容易有了研究方向，只要能顺利发表出来，便可以成为一名真正的化学家。但公司老板却对她百般刁难。
Young lady, setting aside the fact that you're using lab equipment without proper supervision of a chemist.
I am a chemist.
Our chemists have PhDs.
I can never put the Hastings name in the submission of a lab tech that's proudly waving around her master's from UCLA.
I was top of my class, and I believe the work will speak for itself.
You are just not smart enough.
全是性侵、职场性别歧视，以上种种现象，随便一个放在国产剧里都能买上几条热搜。而伊丽莎白也确实像许多内娱大女主一样，集齐了一个又一个最典型的困境，甚至连剧情走向都是如此似曾相识。美强惨女主遇上了真命天子，一次偶然的机会，实验室的凯文博士注意到了伊丽莎白的存在。作为业内知名的化学家，可以说整个公司的命脉都系于他一人，就连外部资金赞助也全都指望着他的研究。而且人还长得帅，是职场里顶着光环的大人物。不过凯文的性格有些古怪，他从不与别人往来，上下班也是用跑步的，对老板更是扭里扭气，一副谁也看不惯的模样。
Everyone is anxiously awaiting your
And
results.
everyone will have to wait.
You will be ready to submit your proposal for the Remsen Foundation grant, right? Because those grants keep the lights on around here.
Well, I can think of a few lights that would be best left off. Now, if you and your foot will please excuse me.
You do understand that I'm your boss, right?
Fire me.
而他与女主相识的契机，是伊丽莎白在做实验的时候，突然发现实验所需的核糖没有了，于是便闯入了凯文的实验室，并偷偷带走了核糖。得知此事后的凯文很生气，不仅当面骂了伊丽莎白一通，还要求高层处理他这个小助理。 然而，当凯文得知对方是个有硕士学位的女人后，再加上看到这样的她居然还要参加公司的选美比赛，凯文还是对她产生了兴趣。不过，这个选美比赛并不是伊丽莎白自愿参加的，只是为了保住工作不得已而为之。所以，当别的女人使尽浑身解数在舞台上表演，试图吸引男人注意时，只有伊丽莎白全程冷淡。
Where would be your fantasy honeymoon location?
I don't intend to get married.
Yeah, okay, yes, but if you did,
I won't.
okay, well, Miss Sach, everyone, Miss Sach.
凯文本想找她道歉，结果因为旁边的女士喷了香水，令凯文产生了过敏，只能狼狈地逃离了现场。而本就不想参加比赛的伊丽莎白，在看到凯文狂吐不止后，便出于好心将他送回了家，两人也因此熟络了起来。久而久之，还发展成了饭搭子。原来伊丽莎白不仅热爱化学，还是个烹饪高手。她享受烹饪的过程，简单的食材经由她手可以变成人间美味，而这也吸引到了不爱吃饭的凯文。两人就这样一边用餐，一边探讨学术知识。
I've read your past papers, but what are you working on currently?
Doing exploratory research on natural enzyme identification, isolation, classification. It smells good. Is that mashed potatoes?
Man alive.
No. That doesn't make any sense because that doesn't explain how you close the ring.
Sure, but when a polyphosphoric acid is applied, it creates phosphate esters with a high monoester content.
That's a pretty good point.
随着凯文对伊丽莎白的深入了解，他发现对方真的很有化学天赋，而且他的研究方向或许将会完全颠覆以往认知，说不定会成为业界下一个爆款。于是他主动邀请对方做自己的助手，这样两人不仅可以经常探讨学术，还可以共同推进实验研究。原本一切都很顺利，研究进展的速度也非常之快，他们之间的感情更是愈发暧昧，彼此已经成为了对方生活中不可缺少的一份子。可直到某天，凯文兴冲冲地跑到伊丽莎白面前，正准备给她讲自己的新想法，结果就因为顺手关上了门，竟引得对方勃然大怒。
What if nucleic acids can actually encode far more complex molecules like, say,
I said the door.
Elizabeth. Is everything okay? Did I do something?
This was a mistake.
I don't understand.
不仅如此，伊丽莎白还刻意与凯文保持距离，连实验室都用标记分成了2部分。这样突然的转变令凯文几度崩溃，他不知道自己究竟做错了什么，也根本没了科研的心思，索性回家报复式运动，一连几日都不去实验室。但这可急坏了公司老板，毕竟在规定时间内，如果没有提交研究报告，他们将会失去资金支持，届时连公司运转都成了问题。于是老板将这份压力转到了伊丽莎白身上，威胁她如果不找回凯文就裁掉他。
He doesn't secure the Rimson funding by the top of the year. I will have to fire people. Lab techs, for example. Secretaries, all the female support staff are going to have to go first. The men, they need to take care of their families.
伊丽莎白无奈之下，只好鼓足勇气找到凯文，将曾经难以启齿的过往和盘托出。他之所以对锁门这事如此敏感，正是因为那段被教授性侵的黑暗经历。他直到现在都忘不了对方反手锁门时的绝望感受，而他也从那天起养成了一些特殊习惯，比如他在工作时总是把铅笔架在耳边，又比如不敢锁门与男性共处一室。而得知真相的凯文既愧疚又心痛，他再也无法按捺感情，向伊丽莎白告白了。
Developing feelings for you. Deep feelings. And it's not fair to you. As a scientist, you deserve to be treated with professionalism and respect. So maybe you are right. Maybe it is best if we work separately. That way I won't be exposed to your pheromones and...
之后，两人便开始了一段没羞没臊的公费恋爱。他们不仅在事业上互相扶持，让实验有了重大突破，而且在生活上也三观契合。凯文并不认同性别决定智商的荒谬逻辑，对伊丽莎白报以平视，并尊重她的意愿，放弃结婚生子这个选项，只求灵魂上的陪伴。眼看剧情就要落入俗套，但这部剧却迅速用一个神转折，否定了女性还得靠男人这一既定模式。
Hey, 6:30. It's okay. Come here. Come on.
没错，凯文意外身亡了，只留下伊丽莎白平静的崩溃。此刻，这部剧的犀利之处才浮出水面。女人或许真的可以靠男人往上爬，但这并不是什么性别优势，而是暗中标好了代价的礼物。失去靠山后，迎来的是更为惨重的坠落。没有了凯文的庇护，伊丽莎白彻底不被允许进入实验室了。为了继续工作，她逼不得已只能在家里改造出一个实验室。没有经济来源，便向其他化学家贩售顾问业务，但造化弄人。 困境比以前又多了一层。伊丽莎白意外怀孕了，而在那个年代，女人是不允许堕胎的。随着肚子一天天大起来，周围人的态度可想而知。伊丽莎白不仅被再次扫地出门，还意外发现之前的研究成果竟然被老板给盗用了，而且她还领到了一笔不菲的补助金。如今自己生活困顿，可她与凯文的劳动果实却全数进了他人腰包，一切都像早已设定好游戏规则的完美闭环。
You do not know what any of this means. You do not know the implications, or what it means for the field, or our understanding of the world. So I will be furthering our research. And I will make it greater. And I will do it faster and more successfully because I am a scientist, and you are a thief.
话虽如此，伊丽莎白还是不得不如这世道所愿。尽管她不想生下孩子，每天拼了命的运动，故意拖着不去医院检查，内心希望这孩子能自生自灭，但孩子最终还是出生了。
Word to the wise, the doctors will tell you to stay off your feet for a week. But they've never given birth. How long have you been here? Going on 2 weeks. No, I can't afford that and I need to get back to my work. Your work. She's your job now.
生下孩子后，繁重的养育工作把伊丽莎白折腾得不成人形。她开始反思，为什么我从来没有体会过大家说的身为人母的幸福时刻？我是不是不太正常？要知道，当今社会依然有很多人认为，女人不生孩子人生就不完整，他们就是不愿意承认，生育本就不是女性必须要做的事情。而且哪怕是像凯文这样的好男人，在没有遇到伊丽莎白之前，也对性别歧视毫无察觉。
I don't understand. Why would anyone discriminate based on something as intellectually non-determinative as gender?
Calvin, how many female scientists can you name?
Madame Curie?
Exactly. Do you think that's just by happenstance?
I don't know. I hadn't considered it until now.
Of course, you haven't had to. Because people fully appreciate your potential. This is me. Raise your hand if you'd like coffee.
是啊，现在有多少男性依然保持着这样的态度？你们女人的地位已经够高了，怎么还天天抱怨不平等？而时至今日，也依然有很多人认为女生学不好理科，甚至很多人都不知道居里夫人到底叫什么。居里只是她丈夫的姓，她的真名叫做玛丽·斯科沃多夫斯卡。估计很多人都不知道，玛丽曾遭遇过荡妇羞辱。她虽然是历史上第一位女性诺贝尔奖获得者，但第一次提名名单公布时，却根本没有她的名字，只因为评委觉得她是个满身油烟气的主妇，不可能做出颠覆认知的科研成果。现实中都是如此，更别说剧里的伊丽莎白了。当凯文去世后，旁人对她的形容是什么？是勾引著名化学家还未婚先孕的荡妇，不仅耽误了凯文的事业，还毁掉了他的人生。换你是伊丽莎白，该如何破局？如果放在内娱，编剧恐怕会安排一个新男人登场，但这部剧却又一次给出了不落俗套的转折。伊丽莎白以做科研的架势，每天坚持给女儿做午餐，结果竟因此意外得到了一份烹饪节目主持人的工作。分子料理的全新事业赛道，不仅彻底改变了伊丽莎白的生活，还围绕着家庭主妇的观念革新，掀起了一场前所未有的风暴。好戏才刚刚开始。
In science, you endeavor to control every variable of your experiment. The temperature in your lab, the number of contaminants, the correct calibration for each piece of equipment.
Sometimes you can't count on a formula. Sometimes you can't control each variable.
Sometimes you will burn the lasagna.
So I guess it's leftovers tonight. Children's at the table. Your mother needs a moment for herself.
从题材上来说，化学课似乎在故意迎合主流，毕竟大女主的故事我们已经看过了太多。而网络上关于女权的话题也慢慢出现了另外一种声音，认为在21世纪的今天，大声呼吁争取女性权利的做法似乎没必要再这么高调了。但事实上，人类社会开倒车的事情还在发生，即便是在 Me Too 运动兴起的美国，削弱女性权利的法案依旧在迭代更新。此外，现实生活中的偏见和歧视也可能会落到每个人身上。就比如剧里的凯文博士，他顶着科研带头人的光环，却被迫承担着成功者的压力。失败和停滞不前是不被允许的，否则他也会瞬间变得一无是处。因此，化学课要宣扬的并非女性特权，而是平权。真正的平权与特权无关，而是真正意义上的做到能够拒绝任何标签，自如地成为自己。那么本期视频就到这里了。如果你喜欢喵星人的解说，请记得点赞、关注、支持我哦。